Hi everyone. Okay, we're going to muddle through this together. Somebody requested that I do a tutorial on a slider pocket. I haven't done one in quite a long time and had to refresh my memory by watching, what is her name? Hang on. I've got it uploaded here. Catherine Scraps. Catherine with a Y. It isn't her original design, but she doesn't mention whose it was, so I can't either. But I wanted to do more of a version for a journal, so I don't want it as bulky. Now, typically they're made with cardstock, and I think they first were designed for like scrapbooks, because that's where I saw it, making mini albums way back when, and I had used it in a mini album, so it's been a long time. Anyway, enough yammering. You can do this any size you want. Basically what you're going to do is decide on your tags. Now I had these dies, and they actually cut it out like that, right? So I just cut the bottom off it. Pardon the noise, my husband's taking off the trim around the windows. So I wanted a shaped tag. Now Catherine uses a tag and then cuts the top with the Tim Holtz die, and I thought, well, why don't you just, cut a shape. You can do any shape you want, and then just cut the bottom off. No biggie. I inked it up. This is just index cards that I've tea stained, so they are thicker. They're still a paper, but they are a little bit heavier than this paper. Okay, so this is just 24 pound. I'd say this is probably 26. It's a little heavier, not a lot. But like I say, I don't want to bulk up, my book. Now, I'll give you my measurements for mine, okay? And then you just play and make them any size you want. So this is 9 centimeters wide. And then I've done it because of the width of my tag. This is 11 inches, so it is, I think it's 28 centimeters. Now, how you figure this out is you take your tag and the height, okay? So this part doesn't go right to the very bottom. So I measure by adding an extra piece on the bottom of your tag, as well as take into account how much of your top you want to show. So if you want that much to show, you have to add that onto, or subtract that onto your measurements, is what I should have said. So you can see mine should come up and line up with the top with that space, and I want at least that amount, which it looks like 1/4 inch to me. Yeah, it's about 5 centimeters approximately. That's how much space I leave. Now, after you've cut your shape out, you need to score it 4 different times. So remember that. You need 4 score lines. If you haven't got 4 score lines, then you haven't cut your paper out long enough. And then this is how I did it. I laid my tag, and this one it is scored, but I'll show you where. Okay, so this is where I've scored mine. So what I did was I laid it on my scoreboard, and I laid my tag on here, and I wanted to give myself a little bit of wiggle room because you want it to slide easy. So this actually comes, if I lay it right against the side, it comes to here, which is the mark past the 3. So I scored it 2 marks past the 3. Okay, so you've got your 1 score line. Then I bent it and put it back up here and scored it again. This one's handy because it's got the little dot. And so scored it again. Then you do it again, and I've got a score line here. But then I added another score line, so my 4th score line is about 1/2 inch. So I went from the little dot to the little dot. It's about 1/2 inch. And now we're going to trim this section off. Now I know you can't really see this, so I'm going to bend them back and use my bone folder. So essentially what you're doing is you're wrapping your paper, okay? So then you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this. Now it won't wrap around that end, but I'll show you how to fix that. Oh, did I score that at the right spot? Yes, I did. I did. I just didn't score it very deeply, I guess. Okay, and then this is the section. I can see a score line. I know you can't. I'm going to telephoto in a little bit and hopefully stay in frame. I'm really bad at that. So I'm going to cut that part off. All right, so this is what you should have. 1, 2, 3. But your fourth one was the one you cut off, okay? That's where I kept getting confused. So now I know. Okay, then you're going to go back to this first one, and you're just going to shave off a little bit off the end. That's just for bending purposes. Okay? Now, at this point, I ink, because I ink everything. Oh, the other thing. This little flap, I just take my scissors and trim off on an angle. Flip it over and do the same. Okay? Now, the reason you do that is when you bend this back and you've got this folded in, you're going to be tucking it in behind plastic. And when you've got those little pieces cut out, it just makes it a heck of a lot easier to do that. That's what that's for. You can use a corner rounder if you choose. But, yeah, it's just easier using your scissors. It's not going to show. You're not going to see it. It's just going to make life easier. So I'm just going to quickly ink around this. Okay. Now hopefully I don't mess this up. Okay. Let's do this so you can see that's how it will look. Now, at this point you can decorate. I'll show you the one that I did. So this was my prototype. And I did it out of paper. It's all out of paper, so it's very thin. I just added one of my bingo cards to the top, left that open so I could add another little tuck spot. You can layer, you can do whatever you want. But what you do is you pull like so, and then you've got an up and a down. Now because it's paper, it does make it a little hard to do because there's no real stability. Okay, something's stuck there. There we go. That should go in now. Maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, I had it working. And now it's not going to work for me. Anyway, because it's paper. This is the reason. And the other thing too is when I did this one, I used, what did I use? I used this plastic, which is pretty heavy. Plus, it has a seam on either side, and that I think is what's making it difficult to slide. It's catching on this seam. So then what I found, I originally when I did this years ago, I had used a plastic bag because that's what they recommended. Well, watching her again, she said, oh, she doesn't use the plastic bag. I can't remember the reason why. And she said she uses the plastic that comes from your 12 by 12 sheets of paper when you buy them in bulk. This is from my photo paper, and it's a nice thin bag. So we're going to try this, and hopefully, because there's no seam, there's no bulk, it should work. I'm hoping. Anyway, I will get this to work and whatever. Okay, let's get back to this. Ink my bends, because that will show. Okay. So, like I say, you can decorate it. Now, I'm probably going to do this, but I think I'm going to wait till I'm done. I'm going to lay that on there. And then, okay, Cheryl. Well, you can do anything. You can, I can't find what I was going to use, but you could do a flower. You know, you can do all kinds of things. Anyway, let's do that last. Next thing you need to do is you've got your tags. Okay, so now you need your plastic. And what did I do with my cut piece of? Okay, here we go. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Here it is. So I'm hoping, really hoping you can see that. I know it's difficult. There we go. Maybe that shows up better. I haven't cut it the full width. You want to leave space, and you want it slightly smaller in width than your tag that's going to be pulling in and out, because you don't want it to hit anything, and you don't want it to show when it pulls out, right? Then you need it to wrap so that it just has a bit of an overlap here. Now, you don't want to go super tight, because when you pull, everything will stick. It won't work. But you don't want to go too loose, or you're going to have it hanging out, and that doesn't look nice either. So it can be a little tricky, and she gave a great recommendation, just kind of laying a ruler on it just for weight. That works. The other trick too that I found is when you're doing your tape, don't go right to the very bottom and don't go right to the very edge, because the tape, if it's sticking out anywhere, it will catch on your paper, and then you won't get that nice slide. So bend your tape back, and I need my Tim Holtz scissors, and cut that off. So it is not hanging over. I don't think that shows, but it's a little bit hanging out. And you only need one for now, okay? Then you need to remember which is your right and which is your wrong. I'm going to have mine tucked behind this way, so this will be my front. So when you open that up, your middle is your front, okay? Yep. Oh, for some reason I didn't ink that one. Okay. Now, if you know, you put it this way, that doesn't matter. As long as you've got your well, I guess it does matter, really, because you don't want it on the side. You want it on the side. Another good recommendation she gave was she wrote front and back. If you're going to cover it, so it won't matter, right? Provided you are going to cover that, just write pencil and then just put front. Okay, I'm not going to bother, because yeah, that's the way I roll. Now, I'm going to wrap this around this one. So you're furthest from your scored narrow side. This is the side you're going to wrap with your tape, or with your plastic, I should say. I feel like I'm all over the map with my instructions. My husband's distracting me. Okay, take that off. And now see, I've got it pushed right against the edge here. Sorry, let me stay in frame. Pull your plastic. Okay, then I'm going to pull that up. And I'm not pulling super hard. Okay, come on now, Cheryl. It's like magnetic. It's sticking to everything. I'm trying to make... It's really hard for me to see up that high where I'm positioned here. Okay. Like that. Okay, so it will spin but it's not going to, once you get those little, oh, I hope that's not going to be an issue right there. There's a bump in that. Let me try taking my bone folder and flattening that out. Okay, where's my bone folder? You would not believe the mess on my desk at the moment. Okay, can you see it? Oh, there it is. Thank you guys. I don't know, there's a bit of a lump in here in the plastic. I'm hoping that's not gonna cause an issue. Okay, so then over this piece, you're gonna put another piece of tape. And again, don't go right to the edge. Okay, so far so good. Now, close it back up. Take your tag that's going to come out of the top and line it up. Then turn yourself back over so that you know you've got it right side. And my tape is on the other side, so I'm just going to move that to this side. Not a big deal. I could slide it off. That would make life easier, but I never do things the easy way. Okay, there we go. So this is the way I want my tag to sit. So you want to make sure your tape is up high enough that it's not hanging out the bottom of your tag. Just going to slide that a little bit more. Double check. Slide my bag in. There we go. Okay. So I want my tag right there. So then I just lift it up like this, holding firmly, and push it back down. Okay, there's your first tag. Now, the other tag is going to come from the bottom, but you want it on the opposite side of the bag, not on the same side. So lay that down, and I'm going to put my tape right about there. So if you visually lay them down, then you know you're not going to make the mistake of putting them upside down. That is sticking out a little, so let me trim that. The nice thing about working with the plastic is it does come up easily, unlike paper. Okay. Now, let's double check to make sure this is my front, because I want the lines showing. Okay, that's my front. This is my back. Okay. It's gonna go like that. Yep. Okay. And I want to lay it down so that it's not showing the plastic. There we go. Alrighty. Now the last thing you need is a piece of tape on this, and you want it on the upper, not underneath, okay? So then flip them all closed. Now, before I take the tape off, I'll show you. Here's your tag. Here's the plastic. I know you can't see that right there's the plastic. So you want to make sure you have the tag and the plastic in your hand, and this is going to fold over top of those. It really is. There. Okay. So that is what it will look like. Now, I just reach in and take the tape back off instead of trying to do it with the tape exposed, as it just sticks to everything. Tuck that back in. Oh, see what I mean? Okay, there we go. Now, hopefully, it'll work. Oh, I think I caught some of that paper. Maybe not. Okay, why aren't you working? There we go. Duh. There you go. So that's how it works. Slide up and down. Isn't that cute? I just love that. And then you can go ahead and decorate it if you like. This is not what I planned on putting there, but I buried whatever it was I was going to put there underneath everything. Okay, I have no idea where it went. Wowzers. Oh, maybe I threw it over here. Nope. It's just, oh, here it is. And where did the other one go? Did I drop it on the floor? Yes, I did. When all else fails, check the floor. I had cut this pretty little... I forgot I even had that. And then I cut one of my ladies. So I had planned on doing that, and then I can use it in the book. So there you go. There's your tutorial for the tags. I could actually leave that open in the center and then have a tag here. Probably do that. Let me know what you think. I know I was all over the map, guys. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's been a long time since I made this. But have fun. And it's limitless because you can make them as big or as small as you want, right? Have fun. Talk to you soon. Bye.